Okay, so I've got a lot of the pieces of Popeye here, but I need something at the top. I need the big shape, and I don't need to keep it symmetrical. But let's go to the very top here and then I'm going to do it with a rectangle. So he's got this red kind of sailor's cap. So let's make it red. Let's move it to the very top. And I'll go ahead and use the same red I used for the mouth. And now, how can I play with this shape? Well, I can right click, or I can rather Command T and then right click and warp it. This is my favorite, right? And that way I can carefully curve these corners, but keep the bottom flat. So right now it looks like he has a really bad bowl cut. Kind of looks like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. But that might be a good place to start. And now I want to add kind of the brim of that sailor's cap. And because I've made this complex shape, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to make it black. So now it looks like Moe from the Three Stooges. And then I'm going to Command T and flip it vertically. And move it down. Okay. Now, how do I turn that into like the cap, kind of like this? I'm going to warp it. And this way I can kind of tuck it in a little bit on the sides. And though we see a lot of symmetry in emojis, it doesn't mean you need it to be symmetrical. But I do like the flat horizontal line on the top there. Okay, now it's got this white brim, so what I'm going to do is duplicate that shape. And then I'm going to make the one behind it that I duplicated white. And then I'm going to transform the one on top of it with Shift to reveal that white just a little bit. I can use Warp just to play with the evenness of that white. And I can duplicate that white, then go underneath it and make it the red, and then Command T, Shift, and just tug that red underneath it a little bit. That's kind of how they dealt with it here. And then use Warp to kind of fine-tune it. And now if I go to the black and I tug it down a little, it will show the white on top, which I kind of like. So now it's looking a little bit like a cap. And then I can take all of those that make the brim, put them into a group by selecting them all, and then I can try flipping them vertically. That was weird. I think I flipped them horizontally. So Command T, flip vertically. There we go. Oh, but I don't want the red behind, so let me ungroup that. Put this on top. There we go. Now Command T, flip it vertically. See what it would look like this way. Right? And that makes sense too. All right. So which way do I like better? I think I like it where more of his eye is showing, like this. Okay, I need to give that kind of angry expression, the eyebrows, and I need to get the real strong frown lines because Popeye has this huge chin that projects out. So to do that, I'm going to use my Move tool with Auto Select Layer to find the frown. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to change its color to the brown that I'm using for the shadows on the face. And I'm going to Command T, and I'm going to grow it. Hold down Shift and maybe tug it. Like so. And now I need to, let's see, shrink it into the middle a little bit. So hold down Option. There we go, like that. And now I need to cut out the nose. So I do that with just another ellipse. Nice little oval that will overlap it all. And what color should I make that? Well, I could just make it the yellow, and that works. I can play with slightly different placements. And I can work on its shape a little bit. So maybe instead of yellow, maybe I make it just a slightly lighter version of the yellow. So it feels like it's coming forward. And then I can play with its shape a little bit more. Not by rasterizing it, but by saying Command T and then right-clicking and warping it. So remember, you're required to keep them as vector shape layers so that they can always be any resolution. The only way to mess that up is to accidentally rasterize them. So be very careful when you right-click. Make sure you're only right-clicking when you're on a transform. So something like that. Okay, now for the eyebrows. Maybe I can steal these shapes again that made up my wink. This time I'm going to duplicate them all, Command J, put them in their own little group, then move that outside. Even on top of the hat for now. And then move that. And I want to use it as the kind of creases on the hat. So I Command T, and I'm going to stretch it, hold down Shift, and I like that a lot, so much so that I think I'm going to increase the red shape behind it so that it encompasses it, like that. And I might even make that a little lopsided, so warp that red shape so it comes down a little bit on this side and goes up a little bit on this side. Because I don't need symmetry. All right, what's next? I can use that same combined shape, duplicate it again, make it brown. This is going to be a little bit of a chore because I need to go in and then change all of these to a brown color. They're all different still. I don't want to rasterize them. I'm actually going to make them into this kind of purplish bruise color. Say okay. But this is going to help with the eye or the eyebrows. Maybe I should go with the dark brown. That's tough. I'll go with the dark brown. Just saying okay each time. This is the last one. All right. Now, with this group, I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to transform it, Command-T, hold down Shift, and I want to turn it into his eye, basically his eyelid and eyebrow. I think that angle works. Okay, but I need it to move below the other layers. So Command left bracket until it's underneath. Bless you. Now I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to transform it, Command T. I'm going to flip it horizontal. And I'm going to move it to the other side to be over this eye. Maybe rotate it a little bit now that it's at the right axis. Move it down a little bit. Good. Yeah, that's actually better. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And instead, I'm going to now duplicate this one, flip it horizontally, and move it over. I don't want his eyebrows touching in the middle. Now the problem is there's a little bit of that blue showing through on his eye. And I want to replace that with yellow. So how can I do that? Pretty simple. Just do a little spot of yellow. Make sure I choose the right color. And then move that down below. That's all there is to it. Let's see. What about inside the ears? Can I use this same shape with the brown? Duplicate it. Transform it. And use that for inside the ear. Missing a shape? No, it's good. Okay. So maybe like that. Now if I want that on the other side, same thing, duplicate it, Command T, flip horizontal, move it over. And I think this whole ear could probably be moved in a little bit. Okay, now this, what do I do with this shape? The rosy cheek. Maybe I warp it so it is also kind of reinforcing the frown line. Like so. And maybe I stretch it out to the side. Nope, keep it narrow. Maybe I change the color from that pink to just a darker skin tone. Like swarthy cheeks. And then maybe I use it on the other side too. Command J, Command T, flip horizontal, hold down Shift, just move it over. And then what if I use it in the ears too? Command J, Command T, shrink it, move it, rotate it. Stretch it, holding down Shift to distort, and rotate.